we can find a couple Metallica history albums that these would be better.
Well, I think, even if you're a casual fan, you got to admit these guys are just riff masters.
Yeah.
They just, or meisters, I should say. But, super catchy, with the twin guitar parts. I don't think anybody's going to be disappointed with this record. It should be strong.
There was a quote from Lars saying, I hope we have 10 more years in the tank.
Whoa. All right. Well, I mean, the drummer's the guy that takes all the beat.
That's what I'm saying, man.
He's like, be said by the drummer. The drummer says, I'm out.
He's like, I can do this. Keep it going. Keep it rolling, people.
Yeah, exactly. So pay attention to our socials and sign up for our email, because we hope to be announcing a bunch of really cool events coming up soon. More in-store performances, more global listening parties, as well as maybe some artist meet and greet things.
Indeed.
So there you go.
And what is that social? How do we find you?
You're looking at the bottom of the
fantastic.
There you go.
There you
go.
The
bottom of just look at the scroll, man.
I know,
it's
dude.
all there.
Just down there. All right.
All right. So now for the new release portion of our program, we're going to kick it off with this guy. He had his debut record a few years ago, just prior to the pandemic. It was one of the last INSTOREs we hosted in early 2020. This is Devon Gilfillian. Love You Anyway. It's his new record. Look how cool that cover is. And this is an indie store exclusive vinyl. Oh, you know what you need to know about this guy is, so Nashville has emerged as this modern soul market that's also like a very much with a foot in the past with regards to 60s heart, grittier soul, and smooth 70s soul. He certainly does that. This was a big record. I mean, not this. His previous album was really big in markets. It has very forward-thinking radio, like. If you were in Chicago or Atlanta,
yeah, so it's good radio.
You would hear him. I mean, this was a hit. His previous album was a hit record.
Nice.
We had a great in-store with him. He's phenomenal, great musician. Check it out. I think you'll dig it. This is first couple of singles are out there. Very groovy 70s vibe. I like it a bunch.
I think this is the first time that we have featured an album on the drop in milky clear vinyl.
There you go.
That's the description there. So you guys come get that. Right on.
Next up, new artist. I'd love to introduce new artists on the drop. This is Blondshell, and this is a brand new album on the Partisan label. Big indie rock label. They put out a bunch of other stuff too, but they know about her as she was trying to. It's funny how the pandemic affected artists' trajectory with regards to not just what they were doing, but in second guessing the kind of music they wanted to make. So she thought she wanted to be this pop artist who really embraced the kind of modern mainstream pop thing, and then really got into classic rock and edgier stuff during the pandemic. And this is the record that
came out of that.
Interesting. And so her name is Sabrina Teitelbaum. It's really just
Blondshell.
One person, Blondshell. I think that sounds great. Brand new music.
And you see more and more of that. You have an artist that's that one name. You don't know if it's a band, is it the one person that's creating all the music. It's kind of a trend. But I like it. I think Blondshell's a cool name.
And a lot of female artists. I think it kind of goes back to. Of course, there's there's a lot of artists that have done that, but I always think about Waxahachie. It's like there's a bunch after that.
Yeah.
Where it's a person and it's also a band.
Yeah.
So this is funny. Today we're talking about a lot of fifth albums.
So
it seems like during the
right.
drop, there's like a common thread with stuff.
This
and
is
a bunch
today.
Of
today it's all about. It's like Sesame Street. Gonna paint a 5. Number 5.
This is
gonna paint a 5.
We're gonna take the fifth today. We're gonna take the fifth. This is NF. This is the new album Hope. This is his fifth album. As we were talking, so this guy's got. Check this out, 30 billion streams.
I know. Another artist that my daughter turned me on to.
Yeah, I mean, he's cool. So I dig the message. I think it's very like this kind of, positive, uplifting message.
Oh,
and he
100%.
flies in a bunch of interesting instruments
too.
in. You got, there's like classical piano on the record. There's a lot of strings. And he's a very distinctive voice, a very loyal fan base. The big hits on this one are Happy and Motto. This record's already a big hit. And we have a few autographed copies. We're showing you the LP right now, but we have autographed CDs. If you desire one of those, they're going to go quick. So, cool artist. And one on the rise. I think he's going to connect with a lot of he's going to be he's already a very mainstream artist, obviously with somebody with that much reach, but he's going to really connect with music fans that aren't necessarily digital music followers.
Yes.
Okay, so this is such a controversial band, right? Like
a little bit.
Not from subject matter.
No,
I'm just saying they
stylistically,
they were one thing that was so defined, and now there's something completely different.
Yeah,
you get the picture disc,
right?
You get to hold.
Oh, it's a picture disc because I bought it when it came out.
Yeah, there's
not a picture disc.
There's a picture disc. This is previous CD. This is I guess our finally. This is Infinite Granite by Deafheaven, and I mean Sunbather's the big record. There's other big records. Sunbather's a big record.
This is a great record.
Yeah,
this is a fantastic record,
and it's so. I don't think there have bands that have made drastic stylistic shifts in their music, but you generally see them kind of go. They'll bounce around and do a bunch of different stuff. This band just kind of leaned into this, and now they're there. It's almost kind of a signal processing wise. It's like Echo and the Bunnymen. It's like Psychedelic Furs. It's a lot of 80s.
Yeah, they went because it was that tug of war between this death metal almost, and then this shoegaze nod to and then blending of each, right? So I guess they went more with the trippier shoegaze than the the blast.
Yeah, it's very shoegaze and very super melodic. I mean, they've always had an element of melody, but
that's cool. And then if the next metal is just if the next album is just balls to the wall, the other side, I'm fine with that, man. I like everything they do.
Yeah, on the Sargent House label, people have been looking for there's colored vinyl edition,
Infinite Granite.
Yeah, people have been looking for that on LP. So here it is. Them out. Here it is. We have the new Joey Badass record. Called 2000.
Look at that.
And he's a very busy guy. This guy is actor as well as rapper, and this is only his third release. Of course, he's had several mixtapes that were popular as well. But his family's from St. Lucia, and obviously, that meets Flatbush. So culturally, it's like interesting. His vocal style's cool. A lot of guests on this.
Our good friend Diddy, friend of the show.
A friend of the show.
Yeah, he's here. Right, you come right out of the gate with his contribution.
He often will just
with his
send us comments. So
in fact, I bet you $2 he turns up in the
nice scroll, nice show, guys.
Yeah, keep it going, man.
But people know him from like Mr. Robot was a big thing, right? Like I felt like that's where a lot of people really his audiences merged there. But he's cool. Then this is his
fifth album,
third. We're gonna get to fifth. We're gonna get to more fifths.
I was hoping.
But he and this is another record like the Devon we were talking about. Like there's a real 70s smooth, groovy like backing track to it, strings, kind of Barry White, Al Green.
And that's a cool sound, and I like it.
Yeah, never gets old.
I'm good with that.
Never gets old. Okay,
although strings these days, is it a plug-in? Or is it actually?
I just assume it.
I don't think
nobody playing.
Yeah, who hires an orchestra now? What does that even cost? Unless you're John Williams,
right? Elton, somebody, they might do it.
I guess
the big bands probably do it. Adele,
yeah.
But beyond that, I don't know.
Everybody else, it's a
this is a band with a very loyal fan base.
Them.
Manchester Orchestra.
Love them.
This record is the Valley of Vision, and this is an exclusive iridescent blue vinyl. Covers super wild. So this is a kooky record. They started to make one record, and then the singer found his mother had given him like a prayer book of like Puritan like archival prayers, and he wrote songs around that, and that's the record they ended up making. I think it sounds great. If you're a fan of the band, you're going to totally dig it. I love it when bands make ambitious records. Yep. That's where some of the best records come from. You got to be ready to fail. But, and there's an accompanying film with this too. So
cool.
I don't really know what that's about. But
that's going to be interesting.
They're always pushing it, and I think that's why they kind of stand out from a lot of their other artists that emerge at the same time, is because they do take chances like this.
Yeah, I definitely like these dudes. If you haven't checked them out,
this may be their fifth record.
We're hoping.
I don't know.
If this isn't, we're hoping they make their fifth album really soon,
so we can talk about it.
So the story goes, I think, because I interviewed them, but it was
cool,
a long time ago, and they were doing Austin City Limits, and I had read that the album that ended up being their first full-length release, Andy had written most of the songs in like his senior year of high school.
Oh wow!
And I don't even think he was 20 when I interviewed him touring, you know, and they'd already been on the road for God only knows how long. Good band.
When's that album coming out of all the songs you wrote when you were a senior in high school?
You're right. Yes.
Who can do that?
Yes.
It's a rare
Did you have to like tune them up a no? There's pretty much they were perfect.
Fully formed.
Yeah, fully formed. They just came straight out like that. Jeez.
Okay, multi-platinum artist, huge across the pond, Brit female vocalist Ellie Goulding.
Yes.
The cover on this is so cool. So she really kind of drifts stylistically, right? Like she has an amazing voice. She has that kind of flutter, that super high-end flutter. I mean, it's distinctive. When you hear her, you know that it's her. I love that about her. She's had a bunch of hits, you know, multi-platinum. Her last records debuted #1 in the UK.
Yeah.
Here, you know, still very successful, but probably plays, you know, big clubs. Album number 5 for her.
Number 5 for
fifth
Ellie
album.
Goulding. Love it.
Fifth album.
We're on a roll.
So I always associate her, even though she guests on a lot of like more hip hop and pop artists, she will lend her vocals to their records. But I think about her as being like a, you know, more of like a traditional pop singer. This is like a full blown dance record.
Nice.
Like it is like the singles, like they would have an orchestra on her record, right? The previous ones, but this is like a straight ahead pop dance record. You know, it's cool. It's good when artists switch gears a little bit. And I think her fans are going to love it.
And if you're on the fence, it's out on 140 gram Eco Mix color vinyl.
So everybody's trying to figure out how to make eco-friendly vinyl.
Yeah,
it is hard to do.
Yeah, how do you do it? Sleeve made with recycled board, recycled and recyclable bag.
But you're not going to recycle it. You're going to buy it and listen to it.
Yeah. Why would you put it in the bin?
You're not going to recycle it. You're going to cycle it.
You're going to cycle right through it.
Are you ready for some ROCKIN reissues? You ready for some ROCKIN reissues? So the first one is not necessarily a reissue. It's more of a what we call an archival release.
Oh, well, and this is timely.
Yeah, and the ongoing series.
This is timely.
This is Kiss off the Soundboard. This is from Poughkeepsie, New York.
Yeah.
At the Mid-Hudson Civic Arena in November 1984. This is the Animalize tour.
Yeah.
And, you know, they've been doing this series and it's been really successful with the fans. I think it's a way for them to
make money,
and also kind of short circuit the bootlegs. I think that the way to think about this is if the band control it, you have access to the best shows that are in your archive. If you put those out, people will buy those instead of buying something that's crummy. That maybe doesn't sound as good. So song selection looks pretty good on there. Bass solo is my favorite.
Yeah, guitar solo. So Animalize, was it the only record Mark St. John did on lead guitar?
It might be.
I think he only did the one record, right? He only did the one record. Boom.
Oh, that's right. Because it was
Birdie with the assist.
Arthritis, right? Yes. All right. There you go. Bird with the
assist.
The putting it through the hoop.
That's right.
Okay, here's a big one. Linkin Park.
Yeah.
Meteora. This is, you know, their second record. This is just this is a record that put them over. This is monster. I mean, they were really big, but this is a big record. This thing sold 8 million copies in the United States. This is the super deluxe, expanded. This is the LP. There's a CD version too. And man, this thing is packed with alternate versions, demos, longer versions that were edited.
We're
for
coming
the
up on some kind of anniversary for those guys because suddenly they are all over my music feeds.
And this is the 20th anniversary.
Is that what it is? Record. Okay, there we go. Okay, yeah.
But you know, Chester Bennington,
of course,
you know, really one of the best vocalists of that era, best frontman of that era.
You know, I went back and listened to him and paid attention to him because I was never. Like Linkin Park was okay, but it was kind of like just background music for me.
We probably just aged a little bit out of it. We were past.
I think so. Yeah. Oh, I definitely did. But I think that when I heard him, when he did the thing with Stone Temple Pilots, you know, I was like, that was really good.
Take some stones,
and I'm like,
in there and
exactly right. But the guy, like, you know, just totally made it his own thing without. violating
and it works.
it works, man.
It's
it
a bummer
worked.
he's
He
not
did something
around.
else too. There was like something else he did that was for a minute. I can't remember with who, in some other band, or I don't know if he was trying to put something or a side project or something. But yeah, just outside of Linkin Park, I really enjoyed his voice and I really paid more attention to his voice. And then now when I hear Linkin Park, I can focus on that and appreciate, and everything the band did. It was, they're very, very good.
And I think this is one of those cases where I don't know that the fans realize that there was this much extra material.
Yeah.
So they're going to be super excited.
And it was Mike Shinoda, right? He was more of the creative production mind behind it, right?
Yeah, I mean, you have to have that yin yang, right?
Yeah.
That's like the mouthpiece. It's the charismatic person.
Yeah, and then you have the guy who's more the architect behind, Yeah,
it's good. That's how it works.
Yeah.
That's how it works.
That's a good one.
All right.
Yes.
Chill out, man. We've done the ROCKIN reissues. We're ready for some Blue Note jazz reissues. And both of these are part of the Tone Poet series. Yeah. And that means that this is a virgin vinyl in a deluxe package, and none of this music has touched a computer. It's gone straight from being a master being laid from the original master tapes and pressed the way they used to do it back in the day by award-winning Kevin Gray.
Right.
He does a great job. And so the first one, this is Chet Baker Sings and Plays with Bud Shank, Russ Freeman, and strings. And so this is the second record that Chet was an instrumental
trumpet
player, but an instrumental artist,
right?
Prior to them figuring out that he was really a great, and by great I mean had a very unique voice singer, and so the record where he sings and plays was the first one was so popular that like, hey, let's do another one of those as quick as we can. And so this has his timeless song "Let's Get Lost," which was also ended up being the documentary. The documentary.
That's when I found out about him.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah,
and I will tell you that if
Please in that.
Yeah, he sure is. If that is one of the greatest music docs ever, whether you're into this guy or not,
I have the theater poster framed.
Oh, it's so good.
I'll bring it in. Yeah, I'll bring it
with the cigarette and the black jacket.
It says champagne and what is it? Champagne and something. There's a little catchphrase for the doc, champagne and something. I don't know,
something stronger than champagne.
and the crazy thing is like the dude was like had Hollywood leading man good looks and just this. I mean, if this came out like today or something, I mean,
he was like pinup.
I mean, look at this dude,
pinup face. Yeah, he was but really one of the great artists of the 20th century.
Absolutely.
And, so anyway, so you can get that.
May
again,
have been ahead of his time.
Certainly was. And also, unfortunately, lifelong junkie for those that you don't know, and that's what felled him. But he was great
good for the career.
Doesn't usually bad career
Usually
decision.
bad.
Usually bad. Okay, next up, another in that series. This is Stanley Turrentine's Mr. Natural, and man, and this is them doing something a little different. So this record, so you're looking at this classic, cool Blue Note looking record, and the thing is, this record actually did not come out until the 80s when they started really going through the vaults and figuring out, hey, we got all these sessions that all this music we never really put out. And of course, and this may not be like his greatest record, but look at the line, look at the personnel on this thing.
Yeah, man. Heavy hitters, Elvin Jones on drums, Ray Barretto on congas, McCoy Tyner on piano. Yeah, man.
Yeah, the great Lee Morgan.
Sure, Bob Crenshaw.
So this is, I think, one of the first Tone Poets where they actually are doing an archival release from the 50s or 60s or early 70s. This is one that came out in the 80s, and it's primarily covers. I listened to the cut that's great on there is that "Can't Buy Me Love," which is really cool. And when the congas come in on this record, of course.
Tacos.
You got a song called Tacos?
Sure, of course.
I always want tacos.
Who doesn't want tacos?
That's great. So two great classic records for you to discover, and I want you to listen to those online and let you know what you think about them. All right, our reissue special segment this week, H-Town Sounds. We're going to talk about two awesome Houston records that are available.
Oh, I know what's coming.
Again,
I know what's coming.
These guys. This has been available on numerous occasions. It's been out of print for 5-7 years. It is back. This is the Kashmere Stage Band. This is Texas Thunder Soul, 68 to 74. And man, if you are a citizen of Houston, Texas, you need to be aware of these guys. This is one of the greatest and enduring funk bands on the face of the planet. Came straight out of Houston, Texas. The great Conrad Johnson.
Yeah, they were all in high school. And
they were all in high school making these records.
It's a high school band, man.
And these are some of the most sampled records
100%
in hip hop. And so the Thunder Soul documentary, which was
we've talked about many times.
Many times. You need to hear this music. This is, and if you want to know what it's like, yes, it's funk, but it's it's almost like big bandy, and it's a lot of brass and they do,
and it's not
a lot of interesting covers, and the original music is great too.
And like a lot of great music that we love, like from early rock and roll and early soul, and it has that like big room quality with maybe just a mic or two. This isn't like heavily produced. No, it has that rawness, right? And of course, one of the most sampled recordings ever
on the Great Now Again label. And of course, to buy originals of these records, we've covered them before as Vinyl Vault features, but this is really, the sound is so great on this, and this really pulls together their best tracks.
And these gentlemen are decked out.
They are.
Extra points for just dressing the part, looking very stylish, I must say. Yeah,
great record. So that was Back in the Racks. Check it out online if you're not familiar with it, and pick up a copy before it's a very niche thing. So it seems like it comes available every 5 years.
Did you mention that? And I wasn't paying attention. So it has a previously unreleased track, right? And then previously unissued extended version.
Oh, see, I like
that's the extended version. This is the previously unreleased.
Oh, so
because it was a 45 version.
Because if you're going to do your thing, you want the extended version. All right, we're keeping it H. We're keeping it H. UGK. This is back out. So this was a direct to consumer piece from the label for a while. So it has been available, but not in stores. And this is a UGK's Underground Kings.
UGK.
Classic record. This is the 2007 record. And this is the record that came out after the group had taken a 3-year break. I think that there'd been solo records. There was talk there was going to be a bunch of guests on this record. I think people were questioning whether they still whether they still had it. Yeah. And man, they did. They did. They 100%. Proved everybody wrong. You got the International Players Anthem, I Choose You, a bunch of other
featuring Outkast.
You got Candy and Stop and Go on this record. This is a classic.
Plus 3 6 Mafia and Chopped and Screwed mixes.
Yeah, so this is the 3 LP set.
Get out of town.
Available tomorrow. You can pick it up at Cactus. We got a bunch of them.
Belated birthday to Bun B, turning 50.
Ooh, man.
Happy birthday to the unofficial mayor of Houston.
Future neighbor of Cactus. I like that.
Yep. Yes, indeed. Yeah.
Keep it going.
Are they open yet?
No.
We're still waiting on the Trail Burger. We're still waiting on the Trail Burger.
I wish they would just park if they're going to have the store. I wish they would just park the truck there.
You know what? I think a Trail Burger INSTORE would be cool.
Yeah, we don't have to. Who knows? Stay tuned. Watch our socials.
Yeah,
there you go.
Yeah.
Okay, so our very popular Vinyl Vault conversation is back.
This is the one I look forward to.
And I picked a weird one. I try to pick a record with a story, and this is one of those.
I think what's this? You're 3 for 3 now, I think.
I'm going for it. This is so nutty. So this is the soundtrack to the 1971 film, The Andromeda Strain. And see how shiny this is? I'm blinding everybody.
That's incredible.
It is wild.
So when I saw it on there, I was like, and I know I've seen it, but it was so long ago.
Yeah, so this is the Robert Wise film. This is, I think, the first adaptation of a Michael Crichton novel. And, it was a hit film, sci-fi film about a virus from outer space.
Sure.
That threatens the human race. I loved this film when I was a kid. So the person that made the soundtrack for the film, in keeping with, sci-fi films of that era, had very futuristic. They really wanted. Think about 2001. You had some really unusual music where people, when they're being gripped with the suspense of this film, they're like, "What am I listening to?" And that was where this came in. So this is Gil Mallet. He was an American composer, jazz musician, arranger, a pioneering musician, and so they contracted him to make the music for the film. He was already established. He made records for venerable labels such as Blue Note and Prestige. But he was really pioneering as an electronic musician. And so what he did was he handmade all of the instruments, stringed instruments, and then composed the music for those instruments, instruments and percussion. It is a bizarre record. So if you see the film, I would describe the music as chilling, suspenseful. We use that word, cinematic, but definitely otherworldly. And it was packaged in this crazy,
it's insane
package where you put the record in there.
7.2 on IMDb, by the way, in case you're wondering. Should we go back and look for it?
And so check it out. So you fold this out, and there's footage. There's footage from the film, stills from the film. There you go. There's the actors, and the record is packaged in this. And you're thinking, well, why does it fold out like this? That is such an odd thing. Well, I'll tell you why. Because that record.
This is deep in the vault.
Dude, this is deep.
Deep.
We're way in the vault.
You have to have special security clearance.
Because it was a hexagonal record.
No, what?
It was 10-inch.
So what are the instructions on the back for?
It tells you not to play it on an automatic turntable because you will destroy your turntable. You had to like that. Set it in the groove, but check this thing out.
That's the freakiest nugget we've had so far.
So it's like a 10-inch record set in this hexagonal thing. And I got to give it up to fellow record store, our friends in the Pacific Northwest. That would be Jackpot Records. They just celebrated their 25th year.
Shout out to Jackpot.
This was a record store day release. They put out very odd, super cool record store day releases every year. They've got some good ones coming this year, which we'll cover later.
Wow.
But this is real. The music is crazy.
That's nuts.
The packaging is crazy. And this is one to look for. Now, you're not going to find an original of this because the packaging was under constructed, and the packaging just is didn't really survive. So if you find one, it would be in like the original sleeve. It would have to be sealed.
Right.
It just wouldn't hold up in the 50 plus years since then. But really, this is pioneering music from the early 1970s. And let me just tell you this about the artist. Gil Malay was, in addition to being a brilliant musician, he was also a graphic artist and did album covers for Miles Davis.
Cool.
Who else am I thinking of? He did a bunch of Blue Note album covers, so he was gifted, super talented, and then had a career. If you go on IMDb,
right,
he pretty much abandoned being a jazz artist and just started making music for television and film. And it's like his credits are crazy.
Just,
And he did a lot of really, in a way that this is really compelling and odd and spooky music. He did the music for Night Gallery. He did music for a lot of other television shows. So, cool to profile somebody who you probably haven't heard of, but you heard his music all the time if you're watching TV in the 60s, 70s, and 80s. So there you go, the Andromeda strings.
Dude, that's an incredible pick.
I had to look all the way to the back.
Good for you for that one.
That was filed on the highest shelf.
Well, and just I guess a little tag to that. As far as background music or scoring films and creating some very interesting sonic landscapes, we lost Ryuichi Sakamoto.
Oh yeah, and
passed away.
Really, another guy that just had made so much film music.
I years ago. Sorry to interrupt. Years ago, one of my kind of like part-time jobs in college, which I had a lot of them, but I worked at Blockbuster.
Oh, right on.
And and there was we hadn't gone all DVD yet. There was still a good number of VHSs on there. And I remember we'd pop in a movie like some classic or cult thing and stuff. And I remember how many times this name would come up at the end of he did the Last Emperor.
That's the one that's
Black Rain, Merry Christmas, Mr. Lawrence, David Bowie. And then, up until The Revenant, I guess.
And he was close with Bowie and David Byrne, and, his music is very,
just really, this, you talk about a list, man, this list is long of the things that he worked on, just amazing amazing stuff, and probably maybe not a household name here in the U.S., but
again, that's
around
a
the
great
world.
comparison with Gil's music, because you've heard Sakamoto's music in tons of films. You just might not have been aware of it, but I guarantee it made the experience of watching that film
100%. All right, so Vinyl Vault next week is my pick. I'm already thinking about this. This is a tough act to follow, but you guys don't know how much I stress out. I stress out about what to pick.
You shouldn't, because we got like you pick something that people have to to listen to. And I've always picked something that's totally whacked.
Never been seen, never been. It's never been thought of. Record Store Day. We're counting down.
Yeah, we're counting down. It's on the 22nd. You can still pick up tickets that assure your place in line. You want to do that because
how much does that ticket cost me?
Nothing.
Really?
Get your place line. It keeps everything chill and calm, and keeps everybody like, I know where I am in the line.
Yep.
It's going to be a big day. And again, follow our socials. We've got stuff coming up. It's going to be good.
Cactus Music. All right, we're gonna bail. We're gonna get out of here because I've got things to do. I want to get home before the rain.
I actually have to work.
Yeah. I got to work. Yeah, I got to work tomorrow morning. In-store performance. Okay. Oh, we're just scrolling through. Yes, that's right. We forgot the performance. Oh, our producer April Meek working very hard back. She just wants me to say Bendigo Fletcher.
I like saying Bendigo.
Bendigo.
What's that great in the line from Elf?
Santa.
No, that's a fun name to say. Bendigo. Bendigo. That's a fun name to say.
We're out of here. We'll see you guys. Peace.